To start the contract process, you send a quote to the buyer. If the buyer is happy with terms and price, they will accept your quote. Congratulations! You're a giant step closer to becoming an exporter. But before you celebrate, remember that there are risks and responsibilities for you and your buyer. So it is in both of your interests to make sure you have a contract that is clear and comprehensive. In international trade, the contract is seldom one single document. It is the negotiation that usually happens by email between the buyer and the seller. A good contract will stipulate the details, terms and conditions of the sale, protecting both parties, helping to avoid risks like non-delivery or non-payment, and make the responsibilities of the buyer and supplier explicit. Broadly, your obligations as the seller are to deliver the goods, hand over all relevant documents, and transfer ownership of the goods. The goods must conform to the description, quality, and quantity you committed to, and must be packaged in a way that preserves and protects the contents. The buyer's obligations are to comply with the agreed formalities, pay for the goods, and take delivery. The contract must specify where and when delivery will take place, where risk passes, and who is responsible for which costs. The International Chamber of Commerce, Incoterms, provides a simple way to state these requirements. To learn about this in more detail, watch our video titled Incoterms. One of the most important components of the contract is your and the buyer's agreement on how and when you will be paid. There are various methods of payment. Cash in advance is the most secure for the exporter, as you are paid in part or in full before delivering the goods. However, this method is used infrequently as it places the financial burden and risk on the buyer. A letter of credit is a bank's written undertaking to make payment once the required documents are submitted. Letters of credit involve many different parties and are more expensive than most other payment methods, but they provide security for both the seller and the buyer. A cheaper but less secure option is a bank collection. This is where through your bank you can send a document to the buyer initiating the collection of money owed to you. Although this is legally binding, it does not give you as much protection as a letter of credit. Lastly, you can sell on an open account basis, whereby you send shipping documents directly to your buyer, who should then pay you. This carries a risk of non-payment and is usually used by big, established sellers and buyers. It's not recommended for new exporters, and if you do use this option, export credit insurance is advisable. So, your products have been shipped, risk has passed to the buyer, everyone has fulfilled their obligations, and you've been paid. Now you can celebrate. For more details, information and guidance, you can consult the CrossBorder Trade Toolkit or contact the USAID Southern Africa Trade and Investment Hub.